My name is Joshua Edwards. I'm the owner and CEO of OSM. I've been with the company now for almost 5 years and only recently took over ownership in November 2018. I'm originally from Havelock. If you heard of the Havelock Jamboree, I was born and raised there till the age of 8, and then I moved to Carrying Place. And more recently, now I lay my hat in Brighton, Ontario. Being an entrepreneur is humiliating, but that's a good thing. And let me explain. When I say humiliating, being an entrepreneur is maybe one of the higher forms of service that you can think of. And when you're in that position, your job is to serve your people and the people that you do work for. That's your number one priority. And what happens is now you find yourself in a position where you really need to listen to people to understand, what their hopes and dreams are, and helping them to reach their goals. And that could be your staff, your employee, that could be a client. You become a really good listener, and it becomes less about self and more about everybody else around you. And having those conversations and understanding, okay, no, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve. So I do two things, and they're kind of the polar opposite, but I combine the two. One answer is I don't pay attention to competition at all. Like I don't look for them when I make decisions about things. I focus on, okay, this is what we're doing, this is where we're trying to get to, this is where we're going. And my mentality is like, don't worry about what they're doing. On the other side of that coin, and again, polar opposites, is I check up on what everybody's doing. I'm always looking at what my competitors are doing, what they're working on, things of that nature. I think it would be a little ignorant not to do that because we're in this game and we're in this game to win. And when I say win, that doesn't mean that somebody else has to lose, but you do have to make your way in this marketplace. And in order to do that, you have to be shrewd and you have to be smart. So I do both. I don't pay attention to the competition at all. And on the other side of the coin, I watch everything they're doing. My biggest lesson, first year in, shut up and listen. Let me explain. When you make decisions and you're in a position to make decisions, one of the worst things you can do is make an uninformed decision. And I find the best decisions are made when you shut up and listen. When you take the time, whether it's listening to an employee or listening to a customer, and it could be a complaint, it could be a suggestion, a recommendation, whatever the case may be. Listening is huge, because when you listen, you learn, and when you learn, you grow. And that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned, is to do a little less of this and a lot more of just listening. Yeah. Yes, I get excited about this question. So what made me want to be an entrepreneur is the fact that as an individual, as a human being, I take this as an opportunity to advance, to grow, and learn. I think as humans, we should all be doing that. Some people do it on a small scale, some people do it on a big scale. And for me, I know that in my background, my heritage, my ancestry, that not everybody had the same opportunities that I have today. My grandfather came here from Jamaica, and he brought his wife and 8 kids over here to help give them a better life, the life that maybe his father didn't have or he didn't have in the past. So for me, I carry that as a responsibility to carry that name, even though it's my mother's maiden name, the Russell name. I'm an Edwards, but the responsibility remains the same. I would say to that kid, invest in your mental experience. And what I mean by that is, when you're young and you have your whole life ahead of you, I say to people, take their time. Don't be in a rush to quote unquote make it or be in a position where you're able to provide for your family, because there's going to be all the time in the world for that. But I will say, do take this time, do take this opportunity to invest in your mental growth, in your mental maturity, because what that does is it sets you apart. There's a lot of people that aren't as skilled as the next person, or maybe not as smart as the next person, but yet those people are millionaires. Why? Because they invested in their mental growth, their mental experience, their mental maturity. And sometimes that maturity tells you to make connections. Maybe those connections are with people that are smarter than you, that can help take you to the next level. Maybe your mental maturity will tell you to listen more so that you have a better understanding of the business and on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. You have more self-awareness. So all of these things come into play when we're talking about mental maturity. And I would say, above all else, make sure to invest in that. Sometimes that means getting on a plane and going somewhere foreign where people don't have it that good. And then you get to build in this hunger, saying to yourself, I've really been slacking. I need to work twice as hard when I get back home, because this is what people are dealing with around the world. So, invest in that mental maturity and that mental experience. It will do wonders. Yeah, so if somebody told me that, that maybe means that they had a bad experience, or they just don't know enough about it. I can't think of any other reason, because it's imperative to your survival in the market today. Digital marketing, when I break it down, I just look at, your job as a marketer, and let's talk about a business owner. As a business owner, you're marketing. You use marketing as a way to attract people to your service, your product, etc. So how are you doing that? And how do you go about doing that? What's the strategy? Well, first and foremost, you got to look at, where are the people that you're trying to get? Where do they reside? Where are they spending their time? And if you're overlooking social media and Google and other search engine platforms, that's where they are. That's where they are. And my job becomes finding out, okay, well, where is that audience? What platform do they reside on? And then let's focus in on that platform to target this specific group of people as it pertains to your business. Great question. I'd say what makes OSM special by far is the fact that we can keep relationships for 10 years plus. I'm not gonna lie, and the how we do that, that's a part of the special, but this is the result. And the reality is that most of our clients have been with us for over 10 years. And we've been in this game for just over 21 years. And the neat thing about it is that the relationship, as it evolves over time, we are really excited and we're proud to see, where this business was when we started with them and then where they are now. And for me, that's the most exciting part, seeing where they are now, what they're doing today, and how they're making a difference in the community. Great question. Let me think. So definitely one that I look up to for sure, Bruce Mackey. I remember in 2017 when he won Businessman of the Year. And I slid him into my presentation. I went to speak to some students over at Loyalist, and I put him in our presentation. He's a client of ours as well. And just to talk about, this is what the cool things that we've been able to see from our clients and what they've been able to achieve. And Bruce is definitely an example of that. Shout out to Bruce. Another person I look up to for sure, Ian Anderson. So he's the owner of JB Print Solutions. And he's definitely been a mentor to me, a friend, somebody I can call up if, I have a question about something, if I'm struggling through something, I would typically give Ian a call, and he'd be able to be right there and walk me through it. So definitely another person for sure. Another person I'd say I look up to in this community, Nicola Robinson from Diamond Physiotherapy. And this is no disrespect to people that, they live here, they come from here, born and raised here. But I just notice a certain fire from people that have immigrated from overseas. And that hunger, that desire, that dog that just says, I'm gonna go after it. And she definitely has that. And I think she just won, best new business in this area. So she won that at the QBAA Awards. So she's definitely somebody that I look up to as well, for sure.